Well, good afternoon, everyone. Um, my name is Muhammad Febrianoer. I usually go by Febri. I work for the Secretariat of the DG of Capture Fisheries as a cooperation analyst. And before I begin my presentation, I would like to extend my appreciation to JICA for accepting me to be a participant in this fruitful workshop, and also from colleagues in ICNet for walking us all through in developing this project paper, and also for everybody invited in this online forum. Thank you for having me, and also thank you to the government of Indonesia, of course, for giving me an opportunity to be a participant in this workshop. So I feel that this is a very good workshop. I have developed certain level of knowledge. I feel that my horizon on fisheries have been broadened, and I hope that this will be continued in the coming years. Today, I'm excited to share with you my presentation, which is about my project proposal. The title is Business Diversification Project for Fishing Community in Buru Island, Maluku Province, Indonesia. Okay. So to give you a heads up of the whole presentation, this is the outline of the presentation. There are 10 topics that I would like to cover. Hopefully, I have enough time. Start from background and then outline, and then implementation schedule, and then implementing agencies, related information, global issues, environmental and social consideration, beneficiaries, security conditions, and other things. So as the background of the project, I'm going to give you general information about fisheries in Indonesia. So approximately there are 2.2 million of fisheries in Indonesia, and 90% of them are small scale. So although they are small, but their contribution compared to the larger scale of fisheries are significant to the national economy. However, they have to deal with challenges without government intervention. I don't think they will be able to get out of their condition right now. So they are vulnerable to economic hardship. They're marginalized, as you can see the pictures that I've shown you, because they have limited capacity and they're dependent on patron, and their lack of financial assistance and also lack of resources. So in response to this, the government has a number of initiatives to address the challenges. The first one is the issuance of the law number 7 of 26 and the government regulation number 50 of 2015. The statement of President of the Republic of Indonesia also indicate his strong support for the development of small-scale fisheries. At regional level, we joined the ASEAN Leaders Declaration on Blue Economy, which puts emphasis, among others, on sustainable production and consumption. And lastly, Indonesia was also actively involved in the development and adoption process of the SSF guidelines, that's the area of voluntary guidelines for securing sustainable small-scale fisheries in the context of food security and poverty eradication. So now I'm going to give you the outline of the project. So the order of the presentation of the outline is based on the format of the project paper outlined by JICA. So it's going to start with overall goal, and then project proposed, outputs, project area, project activities, input from Indonesia, expected input from Indonesia, and expected input from Japan. So as the overall goal, this project aims to enhance the fishers' resilience in dealing with economic hardship, which may strike unpredictably. So the government has actually run a number of activities to help small-scale fishers elevate their prosperity, their economic condition. However, at some point, they become dependent on the government, whereas in nature or originally, the program for government was intended so that they become independent. So this is kind of ironic. So we try another way by diversifying the business of the fishers so that they can rely on the government less and less, and then ultimately become dependent. And then the project proposed is we hope that the fishing community have more sources of income with the diversified economic activities. So the activities that we're proposing here is zero wasting and value adding. So I'm going to explain more about these two in the coming slides. For the outputs, we formulated into 4 of them. The first one is feasibility to promote zero wasting, and value adding are identified and tested. And second, the capacity of the fishing community in zero wasting and value adding is increased. And then third, cooperatives are established, including for zero waste and food processing. And lastly, monitoring and report for all the outputs. So here's the project area. If you see figure 1, that's the big picture of Indonesia. And in figure 2, you see a collection of islands. Yeah, that's Maluku province, and the Buru Island is on the top left corner, indicated in that yellow, in that red mark. So figure 3 is the island of Buru, where Waprea village is located. So that's where we're gonna do the project. So Buru Island is the 3rd largest island in Maluku province. More than 210 people live there, according to census in 2020. And there are 7,620 fishing households in that island. That's just some quick facts about the project area. So coming to the project activities, I mentioned earlier that the outputs of this project are 4. There are 4, but the last one is actually just monitoring and evaluation. So for the real activities are found in output 1 to output 3, which are broken down to, for output 1, the first activity is to identify available material for zero waste and value addition. So These material include the parts of fish that are not needed during or after the processing of fish. They're usually thrown away and they become, they do nothing about it and they rot and emit unpleasant odor, something like that, and cause environmental problems. And then the second one is we like to identify the price and then demand and market for the processed products. So I think that this is a very necessary step, because before we want to do something, we need to be able to identify how feasible the price, how high is the demand, and will somebody buy the products that the people in the island will produce. So, and then in 1.3, we'll identify the appropriate method, tools, and products of processing. For example, composting, production of fish meal, and meat floss. So with the available materials that they have, what is the possible way to process the material, and then the needed tools that they're going to use to process the products. And then for still in 1.3, we also include, I think that we need to include the effort maybe to rent the tools needed for making for zero wasting and for food processing. So it continues to 1.4. In producing the sample, we need the tools that is acquired from the rent that I mentioned in 1.3. And I think it is a good idea to take it to possible clients so that they can see in real the products that they have produced. So for output 3, the output 2, the capacity of fishing community and in zero wasting and value adding is increased. So the next step is to procure the tools needed for waste and food processing. Okay, so this is probably the parts where it's gonna take maybe a longer time, because the administration process itself takes a certain amount of time. And then after that, we plan to prepare a series of workshops, which is expected to invite trainers from ministries, NGO, perhaps local government, or external donors. And this also includes preparation of the materials for the workshop and administrative affairs, such as invitation. And then for the last output in the project activities of this slide, we're going to organize a series of preliminary gathering with the local community and authorities. So this is like an introductory step to the local community for the purpose of establishing the cooperative. And then it's followed by effort to recruit interested individuals to participate in the cooperative. So, and then lastly, the project activities is to conduct a series of meetings to establish a cooperative. There is a set of regulations on establishing a cooperative, and I suspect that this is also the part of activities that is going to take a considerable amount of time. So for the project, from the side of Indonesia, we propose to give the following input for running the project. So first one is personnel. Our team will mainly consist of officers in the DG of Capture Fisheries. That is where I work. And also, I think that we need to have a close coordination with relevant work units, such as the Secretary General and also the DG of competitiveness, because this project is actually cross-cutting with their work. So some stakeholders will also be involved in this project, such as local government and NGO, who is actually working already in that area. And the second one is equipment. This includes standard workshop equipment. So this is just the usual things that you need when you run a workshop, such as computer, and then for projectors, backdrop, refreshments, and something like that. And as regards operational costs, we're looking at about 45,000 USD, but bear in mind that this is just a rough estimation, and expect some changes, but hopefully not so much. And you should also know that this is excluding the fund to procure necessary tools for zero wasting and value addition. And we also expect some assistance from Japan, and this covers dispatch of technical experts. So maybe one or two experts or consultants who have expertise in zero wasting and value addition of fishery products. So hopefully they will talk about how to properly process waste and give more value to fish products effectively and efficiently. So we also look at the possibility of hiring interpreters as assistants for the smooth running of the project. Okay, and then the next one is the procurement of equipment. I have indicated earlier that we're going to need equipment for zero wasting and value addition. At this point, we honestly don't know what they are, but as we run the first activity, that is identification of the materials and tools needed for this project, I'm sure we can come up with a better answer for this equipment. This is the implementation schedule. We're looking at 3-year schedule of activities. Mostly per activities, we plan to do it in 2 months, except for the activity 2.1, where we procure the tools needed for waste and food. That's value addition, basically. And then for output 3, considering that we need to get in touch with local community in certain ways. So we also suspect that we're going to need more time to carry out output 3. And here are the implementing agencies for the project. The agency in charge is Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries. That's the big organization where I indicated earlier that the DG of Capture Fisheries, notably, and the Secretary General and the DG of Competitiveness will be involved in this project. And we also need to have coordination with the local government. In this case, it's the Provincial Office of Marine and Fisheries of Maluku, and also an NGO called MDPI. So this NGO is actually already working with the people there, which I will elaborate later. Hopefully I will still have time to explain about this NGO. Oh, here it is. So this is actually an additional information regarding the project. So the small-scale fishers in this island have received MSC certificate, that is Marine Stewardship Council, for their achievement in catching fish in a sustainable manner. So they use what is that, pole and line fishing gear. So they don't use net, which is thought to be less environmentally friendly. So up next, for global issues, I think we're going to raise the issue of gender. So we're going to invite both men and women. We want them to actively participate, so it's not just men, because we believe that women participation is also important and needs to be acknowledged. For environmental and social consideration, the topic of the project itself, it's already about how to keep the environment green, and also the proposed is to secure the welfare or the prosperity by raising the income of the fishers there. So for the beneficiaries, this is probably an additional information I have indicated earlier. Of course, we are the fishing community in the island, particularly in Waprea village. So in the island, there are more than 7,000 fishing households living and working as fishing. For security conditions, there isn't any security issues. It's not an area of conflict. It's a safe place. If you have time, you even have a chance to visit these places, these beautiful places of the island. Of course, as I said earlier, if you have time. Other thing, because pandemic is still around, also expect some travel requirements to the area, and also exercise of health protocol. Probably you'll need to get vaccinated before you can go there. So that will be all that I can share with you. I hope that I have made everything clear, but if not, I'll be happy to take some questions. And besides that, I also would like you to share your comment with me and your input with me so that I can make this proposal better. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Febrianoer-san, for your clear and detailed presentation.
Can I
Before
stop sharing? Can I stop sharing now,
yes,
or
you can start.
okay?
No problem.
Thank you.
Before moving on to the discussion, I just want to provide some background information for the commentators. This is a series of online training, and at the end, we couldn't invite these participants into Japan. So we organized 3 parts of online training, and this is the final part of it. And at the beginning, we asked the participants to make a concept paper. It's something that they feasible with their own resources, basically. But now we asked them to develop a project paper. It's like a request for assistance to the external donors, such as JICA. So now it's like a kind of scaled up activities. So I'd like to have comments from commentators as project paper requesting assistance to the donors, whether it's okay or is there any improvement. And also the feasibility of his action plan. Thank you. So now I would like to invite commentators for their questions and comments. Questions, comments? 特になければ、私から適当に指名させていただいてもよろしいでしょうか。じゃあ、トップバッターですみませんが、有本先生、OK, I would like to ask Mr. Arimoto because he has experience in Indonesia and also he has participated at the first presentation. So maybe he has some comments.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nishiyama-san, and thank you very much for the stimulating project plan. And the 2 questions and 1 comment. And one question is, you mentioned that the composting and the fish meal and meat froth. What is a meat froth?
Shall I answer it now? Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay, I think it's better for me to answer it now. Meat floss, how do I describe it? It's actually dried meat, but
Parts of not for normal consumption.
Yes, it's for consumption, and usually you eat it as side dish. Okay. So you basically have the meat dry, and then you put some spice to it, and the meat is not ground, so I don't know how to describe it. But if I may, I can show you a picture of it.
Yes, of course, Febrianoer-san.
So, so here's meat plus.
Let's see. Dried.
How do you call it in Japanese?
なんだっけ Yeah, we also have this type of the dried, the
Dorite.
dried
We
spice
call it up.
伝部
Call it abon.
伝部って確か名前。
とか。Yeah, I know. So this is the target for one of the target for the value addition for zero wasting.
It
Um,
actually so it actually depends on the materials that they have, and also whether the community want to do it, and also whether there is market for that. It is just an example of the product that they can produce. So it's not necessarily that they have to produce meat floss.
Yeah, I got it. And one more question is what is the market style of the fish?
I'm sorry?
Not the whole body of fish, but you cut into pieces and sell. So you can have another part, head, bone, and small parts of the meat. Can be the target for zero wasting.
Yes. No, I'm sorry. I don't get your question.
So the
I don't understand you.
fisherman landing the catch and to the market. And how is the whole body sale or cut into pieces of the body and sell parts by parts? If you sell the fish as the whole body, you cannot get this type of parts.
Oh, they usually cut the head
and
then the fins. And when they send it to the processing unit, there is still some leftovers like the bones. Perhaps they can also retrieve those bones from the processing unit, and then they can process it as part of zero wasting.
And one comment is the composting and fish meal is not high value, I'm afraid. And this type of food processing is very good. I know very tasty.
Oh yeah.
And in case of the tuna species, gut, skin, and the other parts, they can be the good source of the special dish. And in Tokyo, not popular, but all the tuna fishermen knows how to cook and food processing for the guts and the skins. And this type of trial must be better than the composting and the fish meal for human consumption. Can get the high value for the human consumption is my idea. Yeah, anyway, thank you very much for your presentation.
Okay, thank you for your questions and your comments.
Thank you very much, Sensei. And I think we have some time for a few more questions or comments. So I'd like to ask other commentators to share your opinions or questions on it. If no volunteers, again, I might ask somebody specifically. This time, can I ask 石田さんお願いしてもよろしいでしょうか。I would like to ask Mr. Ishida for his comments or questions because I know that he has lots of experience in fish processing. He may not be expert in Indonesia, but I think he has some things to share. 石田さん、お願いしてもよろしいでしょうか。
あ、はい、石田です。特にコメントとか考えていなくてお聞きしていたんですが、
すいません。
はい。
あら失礼しました。
いえいえいえ、いえいえ、結局、魚いろいろ食べるところある、まあ、見るような部分、英語か。Okay, I assume that the Indonesia case that you'd like to use at least from the head to tail all the part of the fish to make a zero activities. So it's the sound nice. But anyhow, the quality control issue from the catch also make a big difference for the consumptions to make the product to be able to prolong their edible time. So please make all the participants from the fisher to the consumption, all the through all the food trade activities, please improve for your aiming for your objective of the zero activities. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing your opinion, Ishida-san. Febrianoer-san, your mic is muted.
I was just saying thank you for the comment.
Okay, great. Okay, maybe one or two last questions for him, if there's any. So, Seko-san, if you have any questions, can you share it with us?
Okay, just a moment. Thank you for your presentation. This is very logical. The stories. Just I have one question. This maybe it's similar to the question of the Professor Harimoto Sensei. But my question is the cost of the production. Do you think this is feasible from the financial point of view? What kind of study from the financial point of view you did? This is my question to make this kind of a product. Could you understand my questions?
Your mic is muted.
I'll
Okay.
try to respond to that. If it turns out that I don't answer your question, please let me know. So I think we can look at the as an initial step. We can look at the fish production there, and looking at their production in 2017 and 2018. The total amount for 2017 is 9,000 tons. And then for 2018, it's 9,200 tons. So, but it's not just tuna, okay? There is a variety of fish product there. We have shrimp, skipjack, and squid, okay, tuna-like species, and other small pelagic fish. So from this data, I think we can make some kind of an estimate that the total production is this much, and then from that we can project like how much waste is yielded from that, and from that point, I think we can make an estimation like how feasible the project is in that area. I hope I answer your question.
Yeah, yes, it's. I think it's very important because the zero emission of the product is. I think every countries, everybody is waiting. I think so. If you can start this kind of the feasibility study from the financial point of view, I think it will be very useful, not only for you, maybe for us. We would like to know the result.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay,
Thank you too.
That is my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Seko-san, for your comments. I think the time is up, so we move on to the next. Inoma-san? どうぞどうぞ。はい。
すいません。
はい、いい
Okay, thank you very much, Febrianoer. So that maybe that's the last questions for you. So, and then this project paper that developed together with you, and so I also put some advice to upgrade, so your papers. So now I look at again in the review in the your paper. I may forgot the one thing important point in the marketing. So you are concerning zero emissions and value added. It's a very nice approaches, but how to get some economic value? It's similar to Seko-san's question, I think. How to get the how community people get the economic value from those activity for zero emission or development of value added products. That's point of view we should discuss. If possible, you should be added on in the part of the output, other part of the activity, I think. But I don't know what kind of the approaches for marketing the zero emission value products in the local market, in the urban market. I'm not sure in Indonesia. Maybe you are discussed together in NGO or some a committee, MSC, or to find some and the program to promote in the some the products developed in the project. Maybe I think the cooperative output 3 you discuss in how in-house and the function of the cooperative for collaborating in the zero waste and the food processing. That point is I think very important. So how cooperative also work for in promote those products in the market. That's also a very important point, I think. Maybe we discussed yesterday. We have discussed with Sakashita-san, and yesterday she worked hard to how to promote in their own local product in the local market for tourism or for some other market. It's not to actually her experience is not directly to convert to in your country. However, that's kind of any women groups, any cooperatives, you work together in a project. So they also contribute for and initiate the local peoples for concerning the zero waste and the value added products from the value added product. And maybe that's kind of the local organization also the work for has some the capability for promoting the product, their product to the local market, some other market, I think. Okay, that's a comment. That's part of the question and part of the comment. But if you put in that kind of essence in your project, maybe better than more complete your idea. That's I think. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think it's good to indicate how this project can be economically beneficial for them. Thank you for your comment. I've taken note of it, and after this, I'm going to revise the project paper. And thank you again for the input.
So when you are seriously apply for your project idea, it's better to add another component for marketing component on this, and then to try to approach it to some donors. JICA also one of them.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's a great idea.
Thank you very much. That is all.
Thank you. Sorry, I also have a last comment. You have visited virtually the fish processing factories, the plants, the small one in Kimi, right? And the Febrianoer-san, you asked them what to do with the fish waste, and their answer was to give it to the collectors, waste collectors. However, he needs to pay for that. It means that even in Japan, we have an issue how to utilize the fish waste. And when I think maybe it's because of the volume, the fish waste has to have in the bulk volume in one place, and you have to keep the freshness, etc., etc. And if it's not possible, then the fish waste may not have a value. Instead, you have to pay for the disposal of it. So it may be difficult, but I think it's a common challenge we face. That's my last comment. Okay, thank you very much, Febrianoer-san, for your presentation.